Provo. Stunning developments here in Provo. Utah State up by 14 over BYU as we get ready for the third quarter. Dave McCann, Blaine Fowler. This place has got a weird feeling about it.
Yeah, when they carted Taysom Hill off, it's just a lull came over this crowd. And not only that, I think this crowd is stunned at the effectiveness of this Utah State offense. Garrettson has been phenomenal in this first half. He has been confident. He's making all the throws. Accuracy has been just outstanding in that first half.
Let's show you some of the numbers, and we'll look at some of the highlights from that first half. Here, time of possession has been one-sided through those first two quarters, but look at those passing yards, Blaine.
Yeah, unbelievable. 257 yards passing and 318 yards of total offense. This from an Aggie offense that coming into this is averaging just 368 a game. 94th in the country in that category. They look like a juggernaut offensively. And, you know, Garrettson's passer efficiency rating, 267.6.
Nice.
That's off the charts. BYU's defense has got to pick it up in the second half.
During that bye week, the Cougars said they were working on throwing the deep ball, and we saw it with BYU's first possession of the opening quarter. Taysom Hill backing up and looking for Jordan Leslie, and there he is. That sets up this touchdown run by Hill. Cougars are up 7-0, but back come the Aggies.
A good throw by Garrettson, stands tough in the pocket and delivers the strike back inside on coverage. And then the Aggies get the ball back quickly right after that score on this fumble, and they take advantage on the quick change. Immediately another good throw by Garrettson for the touchdown, and this is what brought the lull over the crowd. The injury to Taysom Hill, taken off on a cart. That ankle gets rolled over.
Then Garrettson goes 72 yards for another touchdown, 28-14, and the Aggies went flying off the field into the locker room, and now the players are back out. And what do you think BYU talked about?
Oh, I'm telling you that the defense probably got a good tongue lashing in that locker room about their assignments. Too many wide open receivers, especially over the top, and BYU's defense has prided itself over the years, and again this year, on keeping everything in front, making teams go 13 and 14 and 15 plays, and they've given this Aggie team a lot of big plays in the first half. So, you know, that's the case. And then they probably tried to stay calm offensively and talk about how they're going to tailor this offense to Christian Stewart in the second half.
So while they were in there dealing with all that, out on the field, Jim McMahon had his jersey retired, and an opportunity for this full house to congratulate him on his career, on earning his degree, and Lavelle Edwards paying tribute to McMahon, and then Jim addressed the crowd. And then the number 9, McMahon, up on the stadium. There's Kevin Worthen, school president, presenting with Jim his jersey. And Jim McMahon, over the years, 33 years, he's now back with his degree and his name up where it belongs here in the stadium named after Coach Edwards.
Well, and he changed the game. He was so great throwing the football, and this BYU offense was so dominant during his time. And that win against SMU was a big-time win that I think catapulted BYU into the limelight. And BYU really went on a roll under Lavelle Edwards after that SMU victory in that 1980 Holiday Bowl, on an unprecedented roll for a decade after that. And Jim McMahon set that up. What a great quarterback he was.
Let's talk about another quarterback, Christian Stewart, number 7. Rarely used at BYU. A senior, Timpanogos High School just up the road in Orem, Snow College, where he was outstanding. And now he is the man that will lead this BYU offense.
Yeah, and so he's all conference there at Snow College. They threw a lot of footballs down there during his time, and is second in the country in junior college with 39 touchdown passes. He's a guy that's athletic, so he can run it around. He's not as big and physical as Taysom Hill in the run game, but has outstanding touch on the football. We watched him throw the deep ball in spring ball and in fall camp, and we're very impressed with his ability to complete deep throws. And so, you know, maybe we've heard about go deep, go long, go hard all summer long and all fall. Maybe with Christian Stewart in here, we'll see those wide receivers as a bigger part of this game downfield.
We'll climb inside his head, since you've been there as a backup to Steve Young and Robbie Bosco. Robbie Bosco goes down in the Holiday Bowl, national championship on the line for BYU. You go in there and have to contribute. So we'll lean on your expertise into the mind of Christian Stewart. But Utah State's going to get the football first. And that is Hunt deep awaiting the kick from Andrew Mickelson. Challenge is, can BYU's defense get the Cougars back into the game? And the Aggies will start at the 25-yard line. Now, if you're Nick Howell, how are you going to approach this first possession in dealing with Daryl Garrettson?
Nick Howell's got to be so frustrated with the assignment errors in that first half where they were open. And look at the second quarter for Daryl Garrettson. If you're Nick Howell and you're looking at that, you're going, this kid was perfect in that second quarter. And there were assignment errors in the secondary. There were containment errors on the edge that allowed Garrettson to get outside and get extra time. And so this defense has got to pick it up, and they got to pick it up right here. Can ill afford to allow the Aggies to go down and get a score and continue the momentum they went into the locker room with here into the second half.
On the first possession. And there's Vigil running all over the place, taking a would-be loss and turning it upfield to the 29. He has been one of the surprise. Garrettson has the impressive numbers, but Vigil's come out of nowhere as a linebacker carrying the football, and he has given BYU fits.
Well, on BYU's scouting report, I can guarantee you it didn't say, hey, and we really got to account for Nick Vigil in the offense because he's going to hurt us big time. And but he has had a major impact on the run game for Utah State.
Joe Hill in the backfield now for Garrettson. Up under center. Garrettson again, all kinds of time. And he throws complete. And it's Robinson who had those 2 touchdowns, a gain of 9. If there was a weakness with the Utah State offense, everyone first to tell you it's the guys up front. What are they doing that's allowed them to protect their quarterback?
They've mixed it up so well with their play calling that they've got BYU back on their heels and not anticipating what's happening. At least that's what happened in that first half. BYU just trying to make reads and figure out where to get to the football, and that's taken away from their aggressiveness and their aggressive nature defensively.
Little razzle-dazzle. Robinson looks for a lane. Oh, he takes a monster shot by Levitt. He's down at the 43. That brings out the crowd. It's a gain of 4. And Robinson will regroup. Let's take another look.
Hello. Levitt just lowering the boom this time. This is a big-time hit. Folks, coming up the scene, that is when you don't even have to wrap up on a play. Wow.
Ball at the 43. It's a gain of 4. It was a painful 4 for Robinson. Aggies have scored touchdowns on their last 4 possessions. Garrettson. Flag comes down. Ball is caught at the marker. Another big hit by Levitt on Sharp. But there looks to be a hold on Utah State. We'll wait for the call. The flag's right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard back. After we get this call, we'll check in with Lorem and get a Taysom Hill update.
Illegal formation with 5 men in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
All right, Lauren Frankham, an update on Taysom Hill.
I was just told that Taysom has a fracture in his left leg, and he is out for the rest of the game.
Blaine, in your profession, you deal with fractures. We don't know the extent. Worst, best case scenario.
Well, it depends on how many ligaments are involved. And so it was down low down on his ankle. A fracture's not that bad a deal, but it usually takes 6 weeks to heal. But you just wonder about how many ligaments and soft tissues were involved in that. And that's what can make the rehab process even longer, is if you've got ligament problems along with it.
Joe Hill up to the 40. It'll be 3rd and long.
But bones heal up great. Bones heal up great. They're strong. They heal up great. Ligaments are tougher.
When will BYU know what they've got to deal with as far as the healing time?
Now, if it's a fracture and they know what's on with ligaments, I would think that early next week they'll have an idea how long it'll take.
3rd down and 9. This becoming a huge play for the BYU defense. Garrettson back to pass. Up. Flags come. Play is stopped. And it's going to go against Utah State.
False start. 74 the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, that's when you know the crowd is having an impact. Not only does the crowd help with making it difficult for those offensive linemen to hear the signals, but they're so loud that when the flags are thrown and all those whistles are blown, nobody even knows that the play stopped. That's how loud this stadium was at the start of that play.
Here comes the noise again. 3rd down and 14. Low snap. They'll run out of it. Short of the first down. Punting unit will come on. It's a 9-yard gain for Kennedy Williams. That BYU's defense has done something, Blaine, they weren't able to do in the second quarter, and that's force an Aggie punt.
4 straight touchdowns for the Aggies. And it's the first stop for that BYU defense. And really, you hate to say there's a must series in this early in the second half of the football game, but that was a must series. BYU had to stop Utah State to stop the tremendous momentum that this Aggie team had.
Ben Trude. Devon Blackman calls for a fair catch at the 10-yard line. And that is where Christian Stewart will start. It's a 46-yard punt by Ben Trude. Stewart and the Cougars ready to take the field. Jim McMahon night here in Provo, and now it's become Christian Stewart night with the injury, fracture to Taysom Hill. And now it is Christian Stewart taking the field. Blaine, you've been in his shoes. What's going on in his mind, and what plays might Robert and I call to get him going?
You want to give a guy that's in there for the first time some easy throws, some rhythm-type throws, where he doesn't have to read a long time downfield. Either they're quick throws, vertical routes downfield, or quick throws underneath where he can get some confidence in some completions, just like that.
There's a quick throw to Matthews.
Stop routes, curl routes, easy throws. And then you get in a rhythm and you start to gain confidence. You go, yeah, okay, this feels all right. Now, remember, this is a young man, 339 touchdowns at the junior college level. So it's not quite this, but it is game fire that he's played in, and he's been very successful.
Jamal Williams now. First down run. Across the 25 to the 26. Gain of 7 for Williams.
And for Christian, his mindset is he's just telling himself, hey, I can play here. I was great in fall camp. I know what to do. I'm confident with what I can do. This is my opportunity. He's just talking to himself in his head and talking about confidence to himself.
Now it's Stewart. Nice tackle. Denied, trying to get around the corner.
And Robert and I has said that if Christian Stewart were to be in the ball game, that he can run the same offense, that he has the skill set to run the same offense. And Christian, very, very good thrower. He's obviously not going to be as physical running the football, but you look at that throw there.
There's Matthews. Shakes the defender, gets the first down up across the 40 to the 41. 15 yards for Matthews.
And that ball was out on time in a perfect spot. This is a very, very tight ball. And Christian Stewart has all kinds of arm strength. He's very accurate. He's got a nice touch on the football and throw game. That's what we've seen in the junior college level, and we also saw it in spring ball in the fall camp this year.
First down BYU. They spot it right at the 40. He'll go off at right tackle. Algie Brown's first carry tonight, and Brown missed the last couple of games with an injury. He picks up 3. He's a big part of what BYU is trying to do offensively, getting back into the flow of things after missing time. Pressure comes. Stewart winds up and overthrows Matthews. Had a step on the defender, Daniel Gray. That'll bring up 3rd down and a big 7.
And Matthews had run like an out and up or stop and up route. And the defenders did a nice job. If you're getting beat, you want to collision that wide receiver. You can't do it in the NFL past 5 yards, but in college, as long as the ball's not in the air, you need to get a hand on or collision that receiver, just throw him off the timing, and Utah State did that on that play.
3rd down and 7. Blitz is on. Stewart drops it off to Leslie. Extra effort, and Leslie's got a big play. Down to the 20-yard line on 3rd and 7. 37 yards and a BYU first down.
Hey, Leslie's ankle sprain looks like it's okay, huh, Dave?
Yeah, he looks just fine.
That little, I don't know what you want to call it, but the little hoop-de-doo right here, where he just steps back and says, the little step back.
And that move got the first down, and now they're in business in the Brady blue zone, just inside the 20. Stewart looking downfield, all kinds of time, and he tucks it and runs. Crowd wants a flag, and there's 2 of them down. BYU in scoring position. That means they're in the blue zone, presented by Brady Industries. Brady Industries has been a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment throughout the western United States for over 65 years.
Personal foul, number 91 of the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Brady Industries, clean solutions, a tradition for generations. There's the sandwich after the run. First and goal, BYU just inside the 9-yard line. Oh, what this drive would mean for the confidence of this quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm impressed with that last play because Christian Stewart did not try to force the ball into coverage. Guys were covered, and he
picked off in and out of the hands of Leslie and intercepted at the 2-yard line.
Well, and a huge play for the Aggies, and just an unfortunate bounce for Christian Stewart. It's a ball that's thrown fine. Let's see if this thing gets redirected at the line of scrimmage.
Torrey Green is right there at the right time, and what a turnover.
And I'll tell you what happened on that play. John Taylor at the line of scrimmage got a piece of that football, and it just moved the ball enough to cause Jordan Leslie to bobble it. If he doesn't touch that ball, Jordan Leslie catches it, and it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and because of that, Jordan Leslie has this ball bounce out of his hands. It's tipped right there.
Yep.
See the ball redirected, and then Jordan Leslie doesn't come up with it cleanly.
Aggies take over at the 2-yard line. Garrettson going to hand it to his linebacker, and Vigil cut down for a loss of a yard. Jordan Johnson. Johnson was guilty of jumping off sides, which turned a field goal attempt into a first down, and then the Aggies went and scored a touchdown. Johnson there with a big play. Second down and 11 from the 1. Lawan Hunt is the tailback. Garrettson going to give it to Hunt. And he just broke the plane. He loses another yard, but it will be third down. Marcus Johnson up to make the hit. Crowd wanted a safety, but you'll see here that he got out right there.
That was a good call. Good spot. Should be about a foot out from that end zone. And look at the surge of BYU as you look at this thing from ground level. Defensively, that play was played on Utah State's side of the line of scrimmage because BYU had tremendous surge out of that defensive line.
Vigil back in, the linebacker turned running back. Third down from the 1. They give it back to Vigil. He got out, but got a yard is all, and now the Aggies will punt from the back of the end zone. Good defensive stand for BYU.
And BYU comes, they bring both linebackers on a blitz. Again, good surge.
Jordan Benford in to punt it. Devon Blackman looking for an opportunity to use his speed in a return. Not much room for Benford in the back of the end zone. Good snap. Gets it away. Blackman will have a chance from the 42. Makes 1, 2 miss, and it's tripped up. Boy, he had a wall if he could have just held his feet. But excellent field position for BYU. A 40-yard punt. And the Cougars have it in Aggie territory. Down by 14 with 6:18 to go in the third. Jim McMahon night tonight. Lots of number 9 shirts in the football stadium. His jersey retired. Robert Anai dealing with quarterback Christian Stewart. Taysom Hill taken to the hospital with a fractured leg. First down BYU at the 38-yard line. Jamal Williams fighting for extra yards inside the 35 to the 34. BYU's last drive ended on a tipped ball interception at the 2-yard line. This is their second drive of the second half.
And you talk about a game of inches. If that ball's not tipped at the line of scrimmage, it's a touchdown pass. Instead, it's an interception.
Jamal Williams again, running hard. First down. Inside the 25 to the 24. Gain of 10 for Williams.
And Williams runs, he almost runs angry. When he gets to the end of the run, he starts smacking guys. And at the end of that play, he was dishing out some punishment. Watch him at the end of this run, and he gets hit again. But look at this here. He's like, get off of me.
There he goes again, getting hit hard. The Aggie defensive front were waiting for him in the backfield, and Jamal didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, I don't think. Nick Vigil, the running back slash linebacker, up there to make the tackle. Second down and 10. Stewart back to pass. Williams hit hard by Vigil. What a night for a sophomore out of Fremont High School.
We're going to pick up error of the game right now. At this point in the game, it's Vigil for what he's doing on both sides of the ball. Renaissance man, playing running back and making plays on defense.
Third down and 9 now for BYU. Leslie top of the screen, Matthews at the bottom. Stewart all kinds of time. Throws for Matthews, incomplete, or check that, it's Taryn Houck. Houck had a play on it. Devin Centers back there on the coverage, and now it's fourth down and 9, and a decision coming for BYU, and they're going to send the field goal unit in. Taryn Houck.
And this is a matchup when you just say, okay, I've got a long wide receiver out there that has a height advantage. Just try to get it up there and see if he can make a play, and it was just out of the reach of Taryn Houck.
41-yard field goal coming for Trevor Sampson. His season long is 37. Ball's down, and Sampson knocks it in. First points in a long time for BYU. 4:39 to go in the third. It's now 28-17. Aggies with the lead. They got the football when we come back. Our scoring summary presented by Deseret First Credit Union. Deseret First Credit Union shares your values. Proud sponsor of BYU Athletics. There's Sampson taking a breather after kicking a 41-yard field goal, his career best. BYU 6 plays, 15 yards, and had to settle for 3 after the drive stalled out. Now the Aggies will get the football back. BYU's defense playing with a little more zip to their step here in this third quarter. Andrew Mickelson has the ball on the tee, and they'll send it back. Kennedy Williams. These two's been looking for an opportunity, number 26, to make hay in this 84th meeting between BYU and Utah State. This is a returnable ball. Williams. They'll spot his progress out to the 24. The ball is out. Whistles were blown. Forward progress up near the 24. That's where the Aggies will start the drive.
BYU's cover team this time did an excellent job of staying in their lanes. Look, there's no seams that are created. Everybody where they're supposed to be. And now the whistle's blown as forward progress has stopped and the ball comes out. It's a good call by the officials.
The crowd watching the highlight on the Jumbotron. They can't hear the whistles in the highlight. Aggie ball. They were unstoppable in the second quarter. Hill looking for a lane. Has some nice blockers ahead and turns the corner. Good play for Utah State. And Joe Hill gets 9 yards and disappears into the BYU bench. Now he resurfaces. BYU looked like they had that stop lane, and then around the corner he went.
Joe Hill did a good job of accelerating and being able to turn that corner. The force player for BYU had to get more upfield to force him back into the rest of the defenders.
Second down and a yard. They go right back to Hill. to get the first down. Across the 35 to the 36. 3 yards for the senior out of Fullerton, California. And Aggie's sure happy to have him back. Coming off that injury again. Mentioned he didn't play 2 weeks ago and struggled against Idaho State. But he has looked sharp tonight.
And this Utah State offense, who's just struggled running the football this year, has found great success with Vigil and with Hill being back. Hill's made a big difference for them.
3.5 minutes to go in the third. Garrettson play action. Wants the deep ball. Has a man open. And it is another completion. Hunter Sharp. And with that much time to throw and that strong of an arm, he has dialed in again 56 yards.
Well, and Utah State goes with max protection that time. Hard to get to the quarterback when they leave that many in, but you got to cover downfield when they're keeping that many guys in and sending that few receivers out. Garrettson hasn't missed on a deep ball. If you went out in practice and threw it against air, against no defense, you wouldn't complete 100% of your deep balls, and he has just been on the money.
Sharp 5 catches, 173 yards. Now it's Hill. On first and goal, he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Rally on the tackle for BYU. But that Cougar secondary was exposed against Virginia and then lit up here tonight. Garrettson saying, hey, I shouldn't have been hit by Fua. That's why he was arguing.
Yeah, he was talking to the official about that.
Cougar defense needs to force a field goal. Second down and goal. Garrettson again. Back of the end zone. There's his first now. Flags down as the Cougars rough the quarterback. That was Garrettson's first incompletion in 16 tries. And it's not going to count because it'll come back on this penalty right here.
Okay. Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, let's take a look because the pressure was coming, and let's see how late this is. So here comes the blitz. You know what? I don't agree with that call. And I wouldn't agree with it regardless of which team it was. You've got the pressure. He's already lowered his shoulder. He's coming in. Garrettson knows it's coming. He stands in there and delivers it. That's football right there.
Ludidoyer on the infraction from the 4-yard line on first and goal. Hill to the outside. Levitt tries to hold off, and they do just keep him out. Bill's over there to assist. But he gets to the 2-yard line. Maybe inside that, and another Cougar is down.
And it looks like Levitt that is down on this one. When his lower leg got tied up with Hill on that one.
And working on that left knee that already has a brace. You see the expressions on his face.
Let's see if we can see this. Watch that leg. See it get tied up there, and he kind of rolled over that leg, that left leg.
And he's up. Not put much pressure at all on that, and what has been a very painful night for BYU. They've already lost Taysom Hill to a broken leg, and there goes Dallin Levitt. Meanwhile, the Aggies have the ball on the 1-yard line. Second and goal. Vigil back in the backfield. The linebacker into the end zone for his first career touchdown. The Aggies answer the BYU field goal with a touchdown. And they extend their lead to 34-17.
A good surge this time. And I'm telling you what, Vigil has been unbelievable in this ball game on both sides of the ball. He has really helped the run game for Utah State. 11 rushes, 41 yards, just a 3.7-yard average, but he's had some good physical runs and been productive for them.
First down runs. Diaz, 35-17. Minute 49 to go in the third. Stunning performance by these Aggies continues. And how about the play of linebacker Nick Vigil? Linebacker slash running back. The sophomore has made a huge impact on both sides of the ball tonight.
And he hasn't just been a physical straight ahead runner. He's bounced some plays and got him outside. He's got some real difficult first down runs inside. We see him reverse out on this one and with some nifty footwork get a first down on the outside. And then he's been solid on defense as usual. That's where we're used to seeing him. 11 rushes for Nick Vigil.
And 5 solo tackles. He's over there slapping high fives. You don't see too many players anymore in college playing both sides of the ball.
Now they got a dilemma, this Aggie team. What are you going to do with that guy? Going to play him full-time at running back, or are you going to play? I think he's going to play most of the time at linebacker and a little bit at running back as time goes on, especially as Hill proves that he can be healthy.
BYU's inability to adjust to him has been interesting to watch. Thompson. This one to Lasike at the 7. And the Rugby All-American up to the 26. Well, back comes Christian Stewart. He's had 2 drives here in the 3rd quarter. First one went down to the 2-yard line, deflection for an interception. Next one they got 3 points out of. So now he comes out for round 3, but the deficit has increased to 35-17.
Yeah, you can't trade field goals for touchdowns, and right now this one's on BYU's defense, who've not been able to find an answer for quarterback Daryl Garrettson, especially giving up big balls over the top.
Stewart lobbing deep for Leslie. Leslie's out of bounds. It's a young secondary for the most part for the Aggies, and they've held up okay. BYU's leading is Matthews. Well, Leslie has 94 yards. Matthews has 63 and a touchdown, and that's pretty much it. 2nd down and 10. Stewart. Hout. Ball is out. If they call it a catch, it's a fumble. Now they'll call it an incomplete pass. Houck has been knocked around. We're kind of surprised to see him back in. He went out early.
They talked about a little nerve problem where he landed on his head before. This is a strike throw by Christian Stewart, but Houck takes a big-time hit that time.
Frankie Sotera on the hit. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Plenty of time. Intercepted. Nobody coming back to the ball, and now the Aggies. Devin Centers with the interception, and Utah State is very close to putting this one away here in the 3rd quarter. A lot of for Stewart, and no one coming back to the ball, Blaine.
And Stewart making a read and buying himself some time. He's trying to throw it outside to Jurgens, but you see him get hit right at the last second and forces that ball back inside to where the defense is. And the big return puts Utah State knocking on the door again.
33-yard return on the interception. And we talk about how ranked teams lose games, and turnovers often factors in. And the Cougars have 2, and they've been painful ones. Madsen dropped in the backfield. Fred Warner makes the big hit. And a loss of 8 yards on the play.
And that puts Utah State out there where now they're in long field goal distance. Played very well. That fly sweep. Your edge players have to stay at home and be disciplined. Warner did a great job that time.
40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Now it's Hill looking for room around the left side. Hit by Guy Povey, out of bounds at the 27. That'll stop the clock for 29 seconds. Last 2 trips down here have been interesting. BYU beat Utah State 6-3. 2 years before, the year before that, and Riley Nelson came in with a big comeback. They had a tip pass to win that one. coming from behind, but they haven't looked at a deficit like this one. We'll catch up with Riley Nelson, who's here tonight. Visit with him in the fourth quarter. But BYU was down 23-14 in that one. Now they're 35-17. And Utah State with a timeout with 4 seconds to go. They had to call that to avoid a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down and 14. Matt Wells on and feeling pretty good. Hey, one lucky fan will win a trip for 2 to the 2014 Miami Beach Bowl with our BYU Sports Nation Take Your Fandom to South Beach contest. All you have to do is follow at BYU Sports Nation on Twitter and then post a tweet using the hashtag BYUSNMiami. Contest ends tomorrow, so this is your night to get that in there and see if you can win and join Blaine and I and the rest of our crew at South Beach. There's Riley Nelson. Had a big comeback against Utah State, a team he started his college career playing quarterback for. Garrettson, under pressure, throws it away. Avoids the sack. That's how the 3rd quarter will come to an end. And now a cramp looks like for Darryl Garrettson. What a night. 19 of 23, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's run for a touchdown. 3 quarters are in the books. BYU has got a big challenge ahead. 35-17, Utah State trying to pin the first loss of the season on their rivals here in Provo.